Hi, this is Stephen Hewer with Synergistic Nutrition. It's March 21st, 2012. Well, for a long time, about 12 years, I've struggled personally with sleep challenges. Yes, it's been very difficult. I had an emotional experience years ago that, for some reason, weighed heavily on my consciousness and resulted in my inability to sleep soundly for many, many years. So as a result, I've studied the subject of sleep and used herbal sleep aids, nutraceutical sleep aids, and different mind, body, emotion techniques to release things from the subconscious. And I basically studied the subject very thoroughly, both from the mind, emotional, psychology point of view and also from the nutritional herbal point of view. And I'm here to say that I've made some fantastic discoveries that have made for the improvements that I've been looking for, so that my quality of sleep has improved dramatically. I'm getting much longer, more fuller night's rest now than I have in the last 12 years. And one of the things I've found that's essential for me to be able to get to that state of sleep is to take certain herbs early in the evening and certain nutraceuticals at bedtime. Those herbs I'll talk about momentarily, and the nutraceuticals I'll talk about momentarily. But the point being for this is that my energy patterns on a day-to-day basis were such that I would have enough energy to function fairly well in the morning, but then about 3 to 5 in the afternoon, I'd be very tired, take a nap, or actually just lay down and rest. And then by about 8 p.m., I noticed that my body would turn on, my mind would turn on. That's when I would feel my most awake. And then by the time I needed to go to bed, between 9 and midnight, I found myself the most wide awake, and I'd lay down, and I'd even have restless leg syndrome. This is very annoying, and I struggled with this for quite a long time. Despite all my knowledge in nutrition and how healthy I eat, I needed to study this subject even more thoroughly than was commonly known on the market. So when I studied the subject of the adrenal glands more in depth, I found that even though you may be feeding the adrenals things like glandulars and pantothenic acid and vitamin C and even adrenal cortical extract. These are all common supplements that are recommended by people teaching how to alleviate adrenal fatigue or exhaustion. I found these things not to be helpful. I'd use them, they'd be mildly helpful, but they wouldn't help me to be able to achieve sleep. So I had to keep exploring the subject. And the pattern that I was experiencing, which I believe is very common in our culture today, is that the afternoon cortisol in the body, this is the hormone by the adrenals, produced by the adrenals, this cortisol, and it's supposed to be produced in its highest amounts in the morning to give you energy, to burn your sugar, to give you the ability to be alert and up. But in the afternoon, you're supposed to have low levels of cortisol so that your nervous system is being prepared for the ability to sleep at night. So in my case, I was experiencing the stress from whatever, psychological and or physical or both, causing my cortisol to go high every night. And this problem was preventing me from being able to sleep, and it was causing me this restless leg syndrome. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it's extremely annoying. You lay down, your nervous system is super tired, you know you want to sleep, and yet your legs and your body is full of energy. In terms of that your legs want to move, you can't sit still. So I played around a lot with diet and with supplementation and reading on the subject, and I found that there are certain key herbs that I need to take. These herbs were ashwagandha, rhodiola, and the theanine, which is the extract of green tea. These three herbs in particular had the strongest effect on being able to lower my cortisol, so that in the afternoon, or I should say the evening and nighttime, my cortisol levels, rather than going high, were now staying low. So with that, I stopped having restless leg syndrome. That made a huge difference. Prior to this, I'd been taking 5-HTP, melatonin, and these were not helping me to sleep. Even my growth factor spray supplement that I've worked with for years, they were not helping me to sleep. Relaxed, that kind of thing, that's all nice, but it wasn't helping me to sleep. So now I've got this product or this protocol where I'm taking these herbs and these nutrients that are designed to lower the cortisol specifically, and all of a sudden I've set the stage for the sleep aids to work. That's right. Setting the stage for the sleep aids to work means that I'm lowering the cortisol so that the melatonin and the serotonin can relax me enough to get me to sleep. Because if you don't have low enough cortisol, then you can take all these things that are going to calm the brain nervous system, like melatonin, like 5-HTP, GABA, taurine. You can take these things and they won't help you to sleep when you have high cortisol. So I found a big discovery. So by taking these special herbs, the ashwagandha, the rhodiola, the theanine, and a few other nutrients that are in this one formula I work with, then I had the lower cortisol and my legs stopped being restless at night. I felt calm enough. And now I added the 5-HTP, the melatonin, and all of a sudden I was sleeping 1 to 2 hours a night. And because I have obviously some kind of a malabsorption problem, and I believe that many people born in the 50s, 60s, and 70s were born from parents, and even after this time period, but it was less known in this time period, 50s, 60s, and 70s, parents were just not aware, and they didn't have adequate preconception nutrition. So preconception nutrition is basically all the amino acids, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the fatty acids that are needed for the germ cell material, the sperm and the ovum, to be able to be complete in their genetic code to create a completely healthy child. And when the parents are drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes like they did in the 50s and 60s, and eating white sugar products and fried foods and not eating healthfully, then even though they may have genetically healthy bodies, the genetic code, the sperm and the ovum of the mom and dad, are going to be compromised physically. And this is proven by Weston A. Price. We've got a great book on this called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. He's got photographs of people in different parts of the world in the 30s and 40s when he traveled to 6 different continents. You can see these great photos which illustrate that there can be children born very healthy from parents with good nutritional diets, with and their kids are born with wide jawbones and no crowded teeth and stout, strong constitution, wide nostrils, whereas children born into the same family from parents that start to eat the refined foods, the children will have narrow jawbones, crowded teeth, shorter stature, skinnier build, narrower nostrils, all showing that they were inferior physically, mentally, and reproductively to their siblings who were born before the parents introduced these refined foods into their diet. So this is all proven information. If you wish to research it, we have a book called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration you can get from us, and you can see all the photos and see all the documentation. So it's quite proven that you can be born from parents that are themselves genetically strong, stout people, but they've created weak genetic material for their conception material, and they've conceived and gestated weaker children than themselves. And this means with less absorption capacity in many instances. And when you're not breastfed either, which most people born in the 50s, 60s, and 70s frequently were not, then you have the problem of poor digestive tract development and other systems that may be poorly or inferiorly developed. So I feel that that's what I experienced with my embodiment, and so I'm experiencing the need for supplementation, the need for more attention to nutrition than people that don't have these challenges. So as a result of investigating this thoroughly, I found that I am not absorbing my nutrients optimally, and so therefore the need for isolated nutrients and isolated herbal extracts, nutraceuticals, to address these issues becomes paramount and life-saving and optimizes the quality of life for myself and millions of other people in the United States of America. So with that said, what I found is that after adding the product, the cortisol lowering herbal formula, and then adding the 5-HTP and the melatonin and achieving 1 to 2 hours of sleep, I then realized that I needed to probably investigate using a couple other neuroinhibitory amino acids so that I can get the full effect. So I added the taurine, the GABA. I've used the growth hormone enhancing product that we work with. And these things all combined help to get me even better quality sleep, more regeneration than just the first few in the beginning. So I've created 3 different product protocols that are for mild, medium, and severe sleep challenges. I've had the severe sleep challenges, so it's the more comprehensive approach. Many people can get by with just the mild protocol recommendations that at the end of the newsletter that is along with this video. You can see there's a list. You can go from one link to a page that lists these 3 different protocols, the mild and the severe, the medium and the severe sleep challenges, protocol supplement recommendations. But being able to sleep is really super important, and since there is such high levels of stress in our culture today and in life in general, and depending upon what challenges you may have had emotionally growing up, you may even have more challenges with regards to being able to sleep well.